The app I'd like to showcase today is called Parlay, and what makes it special is that its focus is on facilitating student discussion. There are plenty of tools out there to enhance reading, but discussion is one that I've always struggled with as a teacher because it always seemed like there was so much work involved behind the scenes to make a really good discussion. Plus, it's just something that never came naturally to me. Parlay allows you to structure an asynchronous discussion. It allows you to do a live synchronous discussion in a roundtable format. And not only that, but it tracks the data for you about how kids are utilizing the discussion and what kinds of questions they're asking. And let me show you how it works. When you go to Parlay, you can try it for free. It'll allow you to make 12 different roundtable discussions. And so I've already created my free account, and it's here. And when you're ready to go, you can create a new roundtable. So when I do that, and it asked me which course I would like it to be for, and I chose my first course, and I get to select. Do I want to design something for an online roundtable, or do I want to design something for a live roundtable? So I'm going to choose an online roundtable. And when you do that, you have some other choices. You can either create your own from scratch, and they have a template for you, or you can browse the Parlay universe to see if there's something that already fits with what you would like. So for now, I'm going to browse the universe. And I said that these are the subjects and topics that interest me. And of course, I said for high school because I'm in a high school. There are things like icebreakers, like what does your name mean? There are journal prompts. There are team building things. Why do we study math? There are things from the community. But since MLK Day is coming up, I have decided to choose to make a roundtable, an asynchronous roundtable with the I've Been to the Mountaintop speech. So when I click on this, I can preview it. I can see what the learning goal is. And there's content and multimedia here. There's a YouTube video of MLK's Mountaintop speech. There's a link to a full text of the speech, and there's some discussion questions. And when you're giving feedback to your peers, you can choose which prompts you want to give. So if I choose to use this topic, this counts as one of my 12, or I can just bookmark it and go back and look at it again another time. But I have actually already selected this roundtable discussion. And when you select it, you can edit it. You can add more resources. You can take some away. You can change the questions if you like. There are templates in here if you want to do a think, pair, share. If you want to insert emojis, you can insert media, images, files, and links. So it's pretty dynamic. So I'm going to save and continue. When I'm happy with my roundtable prompt, I can now invite my students, and they can either use my join code, or I can copy this link and paste it into my LMS, or if I am using Google Classroom or Teams, Microsoft Teams, I can just add them straight to my Google Classrooms, add this link to the Parlay from this screen, which is pretty convenient. So when I am done, my students are going to get this prompt and be asked to get started. And this is what the students will see. So when I'm a student in a Parlay, this is what I see. When I click on the link, it's going to tell me I have to review the prompt, submit my response, and then join the discussion. So after I read all of the prompts and read over the questions, I can type up my response, and then when I'm done, I can hit submit my response and hit confirm. And when I do, I'm invited to the discussion and I can see what my peers have said. However, this is all anonymous. So there is no Santos Dumont. There's no Valse Alessandre in my class. So the teacher can see who these people are, but the students can't see who they are. The hope is that by having anonymous icons here, that people will be more likely to share what they're really thinking and not feel self-conscious about it. So my student has just responded, and now I can look at what my peers have said, and I can comment on their work. So now I have to add a comment. Did they change my did what my peers say change my perspective in any way? Do I disagree? Can I add to their ideas? So now I can leave my comment. I agree with them all the way. All right, so if I send that, and the assessment, does it show critical thinking, communication, and collaboration? Well, that leaves something to be desired, right? But I've made my comment, so I can go through and you can tell your students how many people you're going to require that they comment on, how many prompts that they need to respond to. And then on the teacher side, I'll show you what you see. So now I can see what my students have said. I am going to look at Art's response, and I can look over it. I can see what was going on, and then I can choose to give them an assessment. Out of 4, I can say critical thinking, communication, collaboration. I can look at what the max score is. This rubric was built in. They do have pre-made rubrics, but you can also create your own. This is the feedback that I gave the student. Let's just say I'm looking at this one now. When I go to assess the student, I can give them their score. I can make pre-made saved feedback and click and enter that, or I can use one of the suggested feedbacks from the app, and then I can send the feedback. So, oops, I should have probably given them some points. I don't know if they collaborated, but I'm just going to go ahead and just give them a high score and collapse, and it is done. So now these folks can go in and see what their scores are and see the feedback. In Parlay, you can also have a live discussion and invite your students and just pose a quick prompt to them and ask them for their responses. This is something you would do more on the fly. And you can also start it off with a poll, like say Romeo and Juliet's death was the parents' fault or was it the kids' fault? As the kids tap in, they will become on deck. And when you hit start, the first person on deck gets to be the speaker. They get to go first. And as people tap in, they get to add to the discussion. This makes it so that you can kind of track how much time each kid is speaking and what kinds of questions they're asking as well. So overall, what do I think of Parlay? Well, it has some really fantastic features. You have the discussion prompt library. You have the ability to create your own prompts with the ability to scaffold the discussion by having kids respond, to read about and respond to your question before they start the discussion. There's anonymity in the online discussions. It tracks student participation and gives feedback suggestions and allows you some really nice feedback tools. There are sentence stems for responses if you think your kids need that, and it allows you to poll in live discussions, and has the on deck system so that you can moderate the uh, live discussions more effectively. So the drawbacks, though, the big drawback is the price. My favorite kind of app is what somebody once called free 99. If it's not free 99, it's a hard sell for me. And this one is pretty expensive. For one teacher, for an individual, if I wanted to purchase this for myself, it's $160 a year. If I got together with 4 of my friends, it would cost me $720. And if my school decided to buy it for the school, it's $3 per student, and we have 1,473 students at the moment. So you do the math, that's quite a bit of money. And I don't know that that's in the budget. But overall, the verdict is this: if you can afford it, Parlay is a powerful tool for teaching and evaluating discussion. And it's especially good for people who struggle with class discussion. So like myself. So hope this was helpful.